On this episode of Performance TV, AP Laser is back with more ideas on how to use a laser in your business. And Tommy installs a new wiring harness from YNZ Yesterday's Parts. Plus, Rod and Supply and LFG. Stay tuned for Performance TV next.
Welcome to this week's Performance TV. You know, we've had a great opportunity to get to know our friends at AP Laser and all of the wonderful things that this machine and their other machines can do. We've also had a great opportunity to meet folks like Michael with Cherokee Monuments. Michael, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Kathy.
You just recently got an AP Laser. You've been in business for quite some time. Actually, what, about 75 years?
75 years Cherokee Casket's been in business.
Okay. And now, adding to that type of a business, is this something completely different, or are you just kind of able to blend it right in?
Well, it was a little bit different for our industry because I was one of the first ones to get it in our industry. But we're able to laser on top of caskets. We can do personalized urns, and we can even do monuments, which I'll share with you later on.
Now, getting into an AP Laser, had you worked with a lot of equipment like this before?
Never have touched one, seen one before in my life. And we bought this about 4 years ago. It's a little bit larger than this one. It's a 48 by 36, and we love it. We have been amazed at how many different ways that we can use this machine to make money, but also to provide a wonderful service to the family members as well as the community who buys our products.
Right, to continue on with what you're doing, to modernize that, and along with being able to offer other things as well. Had you used a lot of equipment that had computers before?
All I know how to do is turn on a computer and turn it off. This was so easy to learn, and the support that I got from AP Laser was unbelievable. And so I was able to start into this day one, and we have just grown from that day to this day to where we just keep going. And hopefully one of these days we'll be able to get another machine because we're so busy we can't just use one machine.
That's great to hear that.
Absolutely.
And not only getting the machine, but also all of the great support and startup behind it. And well, let's just find out more with Tommy.
Kyle and I were just discussing the variety of products you can make with the AP Laser and the diversity of the people that use them.
Right, it's been pretty funny. The last couple of my customers have been 3 different companies coming together, whether it's a monument company, a woodworker, and a sign company, all coming together and seeing the dream and working together.
That's neat. You know, in racing, we use a lot of vinyl graphics. The only thing I don't like is they peel up on the edges,
Right.
they fade over time,
Right.
You've got to replace them. The AP Laser can make that a permanent.
It's going to be permanent for you. So again, you're not going to have to deal with that, retouching it up in 5 years or anything like that. This is going to be a permanent decal essentially on the vehicle.
Yeah, you're not going to have to deal with the heat,
Right.
the sun,
Right.
anything fading it,
Yep.
chemicals making it peel up. This is going to be perfect in the metal. It's going to last forever.
Right.
I mean, the endless uses. I mean, one of the things that you don't realize is a headrest in a car. A vinyl company can't put a decal on your headrest, or if they do, it's not going to look very good.
Yeah, they can go from head to toe in a car. You could do the headrest all the way down to the floor mat. So.
Right, and especially with your little portable machine here, a vinyl shop could even get one of those and expand their business.
It'd be perfect. It's a great way, as the old adage goes, either diversify or die. You really want to make sure that you're growing your business.
Right, because you reach a ceiling at a certain point.
Right.
You can have a new side of life.
Right.
I like it. I tell you what, every time I see an AP Laser, I'm more impressed. Kyle, we might have to work on a deal. I think
Sounds
it might
good.
be one of my future.
Hey, we just saw you guys doing a piece over here. Can I take a look at that, Michael?
Absolutely, Kathy. We did this in just about 5 minutes. Did
Really?
an American Eagle with Cherokee casket on that, and then it cut it out in an oval. How about that? Isn't that amazing?
So you can change the depth then, obviously, of the laser.
Absolutely. It cut right through it or do it as fine as detail of that eagle.
And we kind of see that all throughout a lot of the different products that you're using your AP Laser for. Starting, I mean, something I find really interesting would be this piece of construction paper that we have down front.
As I said before, we've been in the funeral industry, so we've been doing caskets, we're doing urns like we have here, but also the monuments that you see down there at the front, from black and white to even color.
Right.
But we can do something as detailed as this. This is black poster board that we took an image of a picture and just lasered it lightly on that. You can do it on clothing. It's amazing what you can do with this technology.
Everything from gifts to, like you said, awards and plaques and so much more, and even something special that you made for me too.
Absolutely.
You know, Tommy got his, so now it was my turn to get one.
If you compare his with yours is much larger, but it's still that $100.
That's right. My money now. Okay, you can find out more. Check out aplaser.com. Find out more about all this great stuff, and we will have more great things for you right after this on Performance TV.
There's still a lot more Performance TV to come, so stay with us.
This edition of Performance TV is being brought to you by Wolf Engine Management, powering some of the fastest cars both on and off the track worldwide. Wheelworks, the authority on custom wheel and tire industry. AP Laser, leading the way. And by Dustless Blasting, it's the future of surface preparation.
Welcome back to Performance TV. If you've ever done a restoration on an old car, you know what a nightmare the wiring can be. Well, on today's show, I'm going to put a new harness on this 1950 Chevy pickup, and it's going to take all the headache out of it. It's a great product. So let's check in with Kathy and learn a little more about it.
Well, you know what, Tommy? One of the first things that's going to go on a lot of these older vehicles is going to be the wiring turning brittle and bad. But Gene with YNZ Yesterday's Parts, you've been taking care of wiring harnesses and updates for how many years?
For 46 years next month.
Wow, you definitely know this stuff inside and out. What do we have here for our Chevy truck?
Well, we've designed a harness because the customer wanted an original style harness with turn signals built in. So we're going to make his brake lights blink and his park lights blink, and yet make the harness look completely original, right down to the wire colors.
And something else that you have taken very good care of are a lot of the things that they only made back then.
That is correct.
So I see a lot of connectors on here that you're not going to see nowadays.
Well, for instance, this is a dash light socket. This is the same socket that was used in General Motors cars from 1939 all the way through 1959 on some models, and in Corvettes up into the early 1960s. Another example is this fender junction board. You can see this board is made out of the same phenolic material that it was back in 1950 when this truck was new.
And of course, these ends, they don't make those anymore.
Yeah, because a lot of terminals and connectors are no longer made, we have to remanufacture them so they'll still fit on the original equipment.
And so what we see here is what came with the kit. Now, Tommy already has all the instructions, because I see some numbers.
Yeah, these numbers correspond to a type set of instructions that we put on our wire harnesses. Many times we give a drawing. For instance, if you see this light switch within the instructions that Tommy has, he's got a drawing of this light switch showing where every one of these wires hook on that switch.
Well, not just for this truck, but how many different wiring harnesses?
Over 9,000 different makes and models.
Wow, wow. And as Gene said, some things you can do to kind of customize them for your ride as well. And I can't wait to see Tommy play with the numbers here and put everything all together.
Well, I've been busy getting the old harness out of the pickup so we can install the new harness. There's several steps you got to do, but the first one would be disconnecting the battery cable. Then, when you come underneath the hood, you want to remove all your wiring that's connected, like the voltage regulator, the fuse panel, the fender. Right here, you have a little junction terminal. Then you got to disconnect the generator down here. And then you got some wiring that runs underneath the vehicle. Those connect to the stop lights, the tail lights. And then your headlights, you got all that wiring. That's what all you have to do before you take anything out of here. But to make it easy, I went ahead and just cut the harness right here at the firewall. That way you can pull it through. You don't have all this old wiring right here. We're not going to use it, so why not cut it and get it out of the way? Then once you get it out, you open up these clips and just simply pull the harness out of the vehicle. That way, when you go to put the new one in, super easy. Cut this little grommet out right here on the firewall as well. That makes it real easy to run the new harness because there's some wires you got to run through here and you can't cut them. You got to have new ones. But right now I'm getting ready to install and hook up all the new harness. Getting ready to hook up the voltage regulator. And Gene, hey, just in time.
Hi, Tommy.
I love your direction sheet. Each wire is numbered. I look at the wire, look on the sheet, see what it says. And right here, it's the battery connection right here to the. It's the number 15 wire. Super easy.
Typically, the manufacturers in all the vintage cars marked all the terminals, whether it was on a light switch, ignition switch, or a voltage regulator. So you just look for those symbols, and the number on the wire tells you where it goes.
Right. I got number 8 right here. Look at my sheet. That says S on the light on the fuse blocks. Look over here. Stop. I mean, it's obvious. It goes right here. You can't mess it up.
Well, that's what we aim for when we give these instructions to our customers.
You know what I like, Gene? I like the looks of this harness.
Well, thank you very much, Tommy. You may notice, like, this is the starter harness right here. It's was braided in cloth and a hemp-like material. It's a paper thread. And we put green stripes in it. That's because this customer has a green truck and he asked for green stripes. But
You can custom match them in any colors or
in
or
any
make
color
them
the
look
customer
faster?
wants. We've done purple, we've done browns, yellows, blues, but we also rubber wrap harnesses like they were originally, or even another material called auto loom material. So they're covered the way the cars were made when the vehicle was manufactured.
And I like here, these wires, we're going to connect the circuit. This is 8, this is 5, just like it on the top side.
Just follow through. The wires, the current's got to flow through that fuse before it gets out to
And it's
the
super
job
easy.
it's going to do.
And it's already, you know, all the loom is run, everything's nice, everything connects right down to where it goes. You know, even the fender panel, you give us a new terminal, you just mount that in place and bolt everything right to it.
That's correct, because typically these old ones, I'm looking at one right now, they're all corroded, they're warped, they might even short out, so it's just as good to have a new one in place.
I'll tell you what, we got to take a quick break here on Performance TV. I'm going to finish wrapping up the harness. This is the main harness. When I get done with that, I've got everything else to give this truck all new wiring. We'll catch you right back.
Performance TV coming to you from Borla Commerce Park.
Welcome back to Performance TV. Whether it's a go-kart, late model, sprint car, drag car, or off-road like our rock crawler we have here, Rod End Supply has something for you. And Bob Douglas, thank you for joining us here today. You do everything from what we're seeing here to even going into space.
Yes, we make a wide variety of products for a wide variety of applications.
Absolutely. And as we've seen before, but I want to remind folks, the principle behind what makes Rod End Supply work so well, last so long, and keep the dirt out.
Yes. What we do is we have a one-piece body. The ball is inserted into the slot, and then we injection mold the Nylofiber material around the ball. It keeps the dirt out. It's self-cleaning, self-lubricating. Doesn't beat out like a Teflon liner would. And it doesn't get really loose and free like a two-piece type rod end.
Right, like, you know, like some of the stuff that we've seen on our rock crawler we have in here today. I mean, this is bad.
Very bad.
And you have something for all different types of applications. Like we even mentioned some of the ones, you have a lot to choose from in your catalog, but you have a lot of one-offs that you've done special for companies as well.
Yes, we've done quite a few different one-off pieces before. We make a part for the NASCAR industry, which uses our Nylofiber construction, but it's got a high misalignment ball in it that we developed by pressing stainless steel spacers in it that do not come out. We've also done some other things. This happens to be a part that we made for the SpaceX program, and this goes on their rockets.
Wow, like I said, even going into space. But speaking of space, this thing likes to try to get through specific spaces and crawl around on rocks. Hey, why don't you go over there, Bob, and see if Tommy could use a little help and get some expertise on changing those out.
Hey, Tommy, how you doing?
Doing good. I got things loosened up. I just want to break this jam nut loose before I pull it out. Makes it a lot easier. There we go. All right, got that loose, so it'll be easy to get it off once we get the bar out of there. Now, the key to making the suspension work well, the rod end's got to move. Everything's got to work and move smoothly, and rod ends can be a big factor of that, can't they, Bob?
Absolutely.
We got to pull this nut off, and then we're ready to take that out. What I like is you don't have to disassemble everything to change the rod ends. All right, we're getting there.
Need any more help over there, Tommy?
Oh, we're just about there. We go.
Ah, okay.
Fell right out. All right, all we gotta do is pull this bar down and spin this out, right?
Yeah.
Look at that. Boy, it is a little worn out, isn't it?
Now, the high misalignment spacers that we're using in that is the stainless steel.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull them out while I put it in, make it easier so I don't lose them.
Yeah, the ones that came out of there were a mild steel, which they work as well too. The stainless steel doesn't rust, which makes it nice.
All right, now how long is a life expectancy on a rod end? Let's say on a rock crawler like this.
They ought at least, they should last at least one season unless they get broke from an accident or
Abuse.
abuse. Yes.
Nobody ever abuses anything, do they?
Oh, not at all.
All right, we'll put these back in there, slide it up, and put our bolt back.
Might have to persuade it a little bit with your hand.
All right, what going on there? Well, yeah, we're close.
I was gonna say, it looked like it was starting to go, so.
Yeah, zipped in there. Look at that, fell right in.
All right.
All right, we'll put our nut washer back on here. Then once I get it all tightened up, I'll tighten the jam nut, right?
Good idea.
Get it all on there, all right. Now, I'm gonna run this jam nut down, tighten it up, make sure everything swivels good, nice and free.
Right.
Before we finish tightening, right?
Yep. And then we can always replace the other end too.
Oh, we got plenty more to replace.
Oh, yes.
We've got to replace a whole bunch more, but we got to take a break. So we'll be back with more Performance TV right after this.
This edition of Performance TV is being brought to you by Cargo Glide, flexible cargo management solutions. Gusher Pumps, manufacturers of quality pumps since 1913. Dustless Blasting, it's the future of surface preparation. And by Stage 8, the world's best locking fastener.
Was a four-door. We decided to turn it into a two-door sedan delivery style car. This car, it just screamed to have something different about it. We cut the trunk in half to change the big humpback. We cut the doors out, welded them shut, filled in the panels. We took all of the hinges off of the rear doors. We welded them shut, got it completely buttoned up. EJ fabricated the panels to fill in the window spaces, and then it was a lot of body work. Everything on it is painted with a copper flake. There isn't a part of the car that we haven't had our hands on and done something different in our style with. We had the motor running, I think that was Sunday before we got the body dropped on Monday. And it is healthy. It is a very, very healthy beast. This car, we have 15 weeks. From a complete rust bucket until you see it today, we have 15 weeks. In my mind, the smallest details make the biggest difference. From the emblems and refurbishing the emblems to making new emblems and just having every bit of the color and every inch of the car flow from front to back and making sure that all of the design kind of goes together.
Welcome back to Performance TV. We've come across a very innovative line of products today that are going to help you take care of all different kinds of problems. Ed joining us here with Rust Freeze. We're going to talk about this one right away. This is going to stop rust dead in its tracks. Now, how does this product work, Ed?
Well, it's a binary product. There's an A and a B. You mix them together. This is a product that penetrates to about 2 mils into the metal, and it, as you say, will stop rust in its tracks.
We see some different examples here of where it's been applied, the different ways to apply it, the thickness. Kind of go into that for us, Ed.
Well, you can see here, this is on raw steel, and this is just 2 coats that have been put on raw steel.
It's really shiny.
Yeah, you can actually paint right over it.
Okay.
This is a very heavily rusted surface. We put it on as thin as we possibly can in all applications. We put this on here, and as you can see, it just loves the rust. It just crept all the way to the back.
Yeah,
here.
that's kind of amazing that you only put it on the one side, but we see it come clean through over here.
Right,
now that is really rusted.
Yeah, and you can see here we took a 1-inch brush and we did just 1 inch on the top. We set that down, and in 40 minutes, it's soaked all the way through.
Hey, you mentioned about putting it on very thin. Is that very important?
Yeah, this product, more is not better. You want it as thin as possible, and when you think it's thin it out more. Put it on as quickly or as thin as possible.
Kind of give us an idea of what you mean by thin.
Well, here we have 2 teaspoons that we've mixed up, and this will give you an idea of the product, how far it goes. This is just a raw piece of steel that we picked up. We haven't prepped it in any way or done anything with it, and you would just keep thinning this out and pushing this as far as you possibly can out onto this steel.
So that stuff goes a long way.
A long way. You just keep thinning it out. The product cures very slowly. You can heat it to get it to cure faster, and our directions explain that, but in a 80 to 90 degree temperature, this would take a couple weeks to cure if you do not treat it they're not heated.
But you know, this sounds, Ed, like a really good idea for someone, say, who's restoring a car or whatever, because there's a lot of areas in the seams, stuff like that, where you're not going to be able to get into to really do anything, but this product will help us out.
Absolutely. I've restored cars over the years, and this is a real problem. If you have a paint bubble that the rust has come through from the backside, you refinish that, it will come through again. If you take this and either apply the rust freeze from the backside, and if you can't get to the backside, just put it on that surface and it'll penetrate back through, then paint over it, or you know, prep it and paint over it. It seals it. You can also put it along all your seams, any places that you can't normally get to protect. This product will seep its way in there.
Well, that's absolutely awesome, and that's just one of our very many innovative products that we're checking out today, and Tommy has some that'll take care of some really pesky problems.
Well, one of those pesky problems are bugs splattered on your windshield. I'm with Tracy from Splat Bug Remover. Tracy, you have a product that'll take those bugs off the windshield without a lot of work.
I do. It's absolutely amazing product. It's completely biodegradable. You spray it on the bugs on your car, and you just wait about a minute, and we'll let that sit.
It'll help break them down. We can wipe them off.
It actually
What else you have? We got tar and paint. You know, you could overspray in your car. You think, oh my God, it's ruined. But you got something that'll take that off.
We have tar and tree sap remover that actually has some amazing properties. This is dried on tar, and it's been here, and we're just gonna, you can see it just wipes it right off.
Comes off, yeah. Yeah, because that can be a problem. You're driving down the highway, get tar splattered on your car. You think, oh, it's going to be a lot of work. You pour this on, that's it, wipe it off, comes right off.
And just rub a little, and there it goes.
And overspray, I've seen cars with overspray on them before.
Right, usually you can't get that off. Here it just wipes right off.
Look at that.
And it will not remove the paint from your car.
That's easy. Now what about the bugs? We sprayed it.
Right.
Let's see the bugs. How easy do these come off?
All right, well, we have this great wiping cloth. Actually, that is a great partner to our product, but as you can see.
Oh, look at that. Bugs come right off the thing.
Just wipe right away.
Well, this stuff works great. Check them out on their websites, flatbugremover.com or on Facebook. That's all the time we have this week on Performance TV. Be sure and check us out next week.